Okay, so now we can get to putting on our second hand. Second hand goes on the smallest of the posts, and it itself has a very small tube that rests on the post. The post is, right in the center of the hour in the minute hand. That second hand post or pinion is super tiny. I mean, it's maybe it's like the thickness of a hair, really. I mean, it's almost hard to see even at 2.5x magnification. Some of you might want to move to 3.5. Might want to change out your lens if you're using the Esslinger toolkit. I'm going to go ahead and try and do it at 2.5. Really what you're doing, I've seen this done a lot of different ways, but the way I do it is I just try to set it right on top of the post. Rest it there, balance it there, so I can press it down with my hand presser. That might be the harder way. I've seen other people hold the end of the second hand and then have the hand presser in their other hand and press it down. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that. But this is the way I do it. Sometimes you get lucky. It's really just a matter of picking it up and dropping it right on it. This might takes me several attempts. Almost got it there. And with the second hand, like I said, you don't really have to worry about where direction it is or what the alignment is. You just have to worry about getting it on that post, which is hard enough. You can imagine what the watchmakers go through that have these complicated dials, chronographs, watches with lots of sub dials and really tiny little hands. The skill required to do that day in and day out, it's awesome. It's just so cool. What I try to do is get it in the vicinity and just roll it on the post. Lighting's important, being patient's important, and then really being sure that you've got it on it, because if you press down on this hand and it is not on top of that second hand pinion, and you press down really hard, you're going to break your second hand pinion or bend it, and at that point you're kind of looking at taking apart your watch, getting a new movement. I'm going to get in closer. There's no way this camera is going to pick up. I mean, maybe even if I zoomed in, but it's very unlikely you're going to be able to see the secondhand post. You'll be able to see it in real life. Just do all your work in a well-lit area. Oh, I almost got it there. And you'll be fine. And use optics, obviously. Ooh, I got it. Now it's just a matter of rolling it up straight. I am on like Donkey Kong. So now, for pressing this second hand, I actually like the good old school hand presser. Use the side with the small hole opening. And I just think it's easier because once you get it on, it's really hard to move it over to the hand press. I'm going to go ahead and hit it. This takes a steady hand. Now I press lightly the first time. I want to be absolutely certain I am on that pinion, because the last thing you want to do is break your second hand pinion. I think I'm on. Today the second hand gave me a lot less trouble than the minute hand, which is not typical, but you know, every watch you put together is a little bit different, the challenges you face. So press down a little more firmly now. Give it a look. It is on. Give it one final press just to be absolute certain. We are golden. Now, what happens on pretty much every one of these that I have done is the second hand's too low. In other words, it's bending downwards and it's going to hit the minute hand as it sweeps. We'll check for that, but almost certain that's going to be the case. We'll find out. Maybe I got lucky this one. As soon as you start turning the hands, usually the second hand starts going. And actually, I think I lucked out on this one. I don't think I'm hitting. bring the camera up. Get it so the hour and second hand and minute hand line up. And you can see that I'm not hitting. I've got plenty of clearance. And that's what you're looking for. Had it not lined up, which I'm kind of amazed that it did first try, line up perfectly. Had it not lined up, you would basically bend the second hand upwards. So I'm not going to do it because I like where it is. It's in a good spot. I'm going to get this hour hand advanced real far ahead. Essentially, you'd get your dial protector under there. If your second hand was hitting. Take your tweezers, get them underneath the second hand, and lift up. And that'll bend the hand upwards, and that's really all it takes. You'll bend it just slightly so it does not come in contact with the minute hand, and has free room to move. I'm going to check this guy again, make sure everything's correct. Yeah, and there's clearance. Tons of clearance. So just double checking. We are in golden.